All right, welcome to the channel where we're building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. What's up, K-Tron? How's it going? So yesterday we got our hearts decrementing here. Now our hearts are rendering based on how many health we have, and that is a field that belongs to our player. So if our player has 14 hearts, we'll have full hearts. If we have 1 heart, we'll have half a heart, because each heart is 2. So as of right now, our entities, our geckos, aren't colliding with our player, and we need to make it so that if a gecko hits us, we flash red and take some damage. Dude, I know, 7 hits so fast these days. There's like not even time to get food ready or anything after work. It's just like go time. But we've got our little hearts rendering there, so we need to just take the functionality we put on our geckos for their being hit and move it to our player, and then we'll have some good interactive bad guys. So that should turn out good. And then we can go ahead and modify our geckos so that they pick the nearest edge, and they go off the edge in the nearest, whatever corner is nearest, they can kind of go to. So we might do that today if we don't run into any issues here. Yo, aka Bob on a freaking roll with your 10k gold. 11k now, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know what to do. We gotta save up. We gotta add a special aka Bob stream avatar so that you can spend your 11,000 gold on. So I know we added something that was called damage flash. Yeah, damage flash. Now damage flash is the boolean that triggers the timer for our damage flashing, and the dot flashing is what is actually, the dot flashing is true if our character is red actively flashing. So if we take a look at our geckos here, like damage flashing will be true for the entire duration that they flash, and then the actual flashing is whether they're red or not. And then we just need to kind of apply that to our character here. So maybe what we'll do is just take a look at how we do it here for our geckos. Now, I know we've got a collides with spellcast. I think it might be a fire spellcast collides with an entity as opposed to an entity collides with a fire spellcast. I don't know which way is necessarily better, but I think we've got it. We might have it in our scene instead of our entity class. Let's see, I think it's called fire spell collides. Nope. Spell collides. If fire spell collides, this is in our entity. Okay. So if we are of type gecko, then we're checking a fire spell collides. Okay. So the thing is here, we put a shrunken hitbox on this fire spell collides that we necessarily wouldn't put on our player versus our entity. Now we need our shrunken player hitbox. So I'm wondering where we have that defined. It's not in the entity, I don't believe. It might be called a... Oh yeah, I don't know where it would be. It is the crap, I don't know. We've got to look where we've got our specific player collide. Now I think we have this We have this at least for our collidable map objects because our player, if you look at, yeah, our collision with like a tree or a trunk like that, how our player is able to go in front of it, it's because we've got that shrunken hitbox. So that's the hitbox we want to use for the gecko entities, so that if there's a gecko right up in front of us, you know, like where the tree is, we would be able to walk by it without getting damage. So let's go see where we're doing that. I don't know where we're pulling that off. But it would be a player collides or something like that. Let's see if maybe we can find it like that. Player collides. It might be... No. I don't know what we named that function. Player, oh, it's okay, so it's in our player class. Now, I don't know if I like this, because we've got four different, well, I guess this in a sense can make our knockback work a little easier. Let me see here. Yeah, I think, so we have our collision detection split out between every direction here. So I think what that means is we can just check for a top collision, and if so, a top collision with a gecko entity, then we would go apply a positive DY so that we would get bounced down. Flashing gets true, that sort of deal. So like right now, our flashing is set to a timer in our scene, I believe. Let's see. No, it might be in the entity class. So if when we give our player, which is in our play state, check, yeah, so look, if we put in our self.player, damage flash gets true. When we spawn, we've got that damage flash for whatever the timer is. So that should be all we need to trigger, and that will prevent a further collision with an entity so that we don't lose more than one health if we accidentally detect a collision frame, you know, in adjacent frames. So I think what we'll do is, yeah, I think what we'll do is go to our scene, and we can do, see, and this is tough because it's like we have to start thinking long-term with this game's development. Like, does player to entity collision really belong here in the scene update? I'm not exactly sure. Right now we've got our player update, or our player collision with our map objects here. But I don't exactly know if it's the best idea to put all this stuff here in our scene. That should just kind of control the scene elements, not necessarily the collision for our player, you know? So we might do a lot like how we're doing if type is self.gecko for our spellcast collides. We might do a if self.type is player, then go ahead and apply all the player appropriate collisions. So we might do something like that. But for now, let's just try to get it working. So what we'll do, and you know what, I want to name our TMUX session called gecko damage. Okay, so our scene here should have access to all of our geckos, and how that's doing it is we populate our geckos with it's in our dot entities, but where do we actually do it? I think, okay, yeah, right here in our map declarations, we actually populate entity instantiations into our dot entity of the current map, so our dot entity table. So I think what we want to do is Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're crapping out on stream. Oh, hopefully it resolves itself. We'll go... that's crappy, dude. What, we're just done? We're just done? We just crashed completely. Okay. It's not letting me stream. Okay. I don't know if this is an internet issue or a Twitch issue. Dude, we've got I pay a lot for good internet. Sorry guys, let me see. Let's connect to the Wi-Fi. We're just down. What is going on? Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know why my internet is this bad when I pay so much. But we're looking for our entities. When we populate our entities in our scene here, we have to loop through all of our enemies. Oh hey, Skytech, thank you for the raid, man. Hey, I appreciate that. So yeah, Skytech is another game dev. He's making his own game. You should give him a follow if you are into that stuff. Let me see. I mean, if you're here, you're into game dev stuff. So let's say shout out Skytech. There we go. Hey, thanks, man. Did you have a good stream? We are working on our game here. We're trying to get, we're trying to add our entity collision to our player because we can attack our enemies, but our enemies can't attack us just yet. So that's what we're working on today. And you caught us right after the stream crashed, so I'm hoping we don't have any more issues. Nice. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean, all game dev is just, you know, making a little progress here and there. You know, just check off your to-do list one at a time and you'll get there. It just takes a while. So yeah, we're working on getting this collision detection. Well, we've got some collision functions. We just need to apply it and then apply some knockback and then take our hearts down. So we're working on that now. Now we're going to be, I think in our update here, yeah, so this is where we do our collidable map objects for our player. So we can cycle through, we can say, cycle through all of our self.entities. And we'd go pound self.entities. So we want to check our collision for each type of collision here. So like I want to say that if our player See, so we've got this, it's called a map object, called collides map object function, which is because we wrote it for our map, but we can use this because this is a function for our player, which has the shrunken hitbox. So it should have better collision for our, when the gecko's right above us, it should kind of cut it off right there. So we're gonna say if top collides with a map object, and in this case the map object is the entity, so we're gonna say a self dot entities at the index of whatever this loop is at. Then we'd want to do a certain sort of something that is turn our player. We would want our player dot I call it damage flash is what I call it. So damage flash gets true, and we would also want to set our player's health to decrement. So we would say health gets, and it's not our, okay, no, there is a reference to our player in the scene. So yeah, we can do this. So we'll do our player dot health. We'll get self dot player dot health -1. Each half heart is worth 1 health. Dude, yeah, Lua is wonky. Yeah, I mean from the one indexing to the whatever this operator is called is a little weird. Like, but I feel like once you look at it for like 5 minutes or 2 minutes, you're like, okay, yeah, it's like dead simple. It's really, really simple. Okay, so then if our damage flash is true, we cannot lose more health. So we're gonna ask not only if we're colliding, but also if our self.player is not flashing. So if our damage flash is not true, then we want to decrement our health because we don't want to decrement more than 1. Oh, but then we have to also stop updating our health to decrement just for our testing sake, because right now it's kind of cycling down our health levels just to prove that our hearts are rendering appropriately. So we've got to go take that off. Yeah, thanks for the raid, Skytech. I appreciate that. I always love Twitch raids. They're so fun. Yeah, where are we doing? See, we've got this like... I'm going to search for our heart and see when we are doing... We're really not doing... Oh, it's health now. It's health. So we'll go search for health. Yeah. It's got to be here. Okay. Yeah, so this is where we're doing all of our heart stuff. So we'll just take this out so that we have a full 6 hearts that isn't decrementing. 7 hearts actually, because we have 14 health. So we should have stable hearts, and then if we top collide, hopefully we -1. But we are not seeing that. We need to... Are we setting the health difference here? Okay, so we still need to update our hearts, because update hearts is what sets our new heart crop. Heart crop is the quad. It's like the distance of how, like, we've got a whole row of hearts. Heart crop is like all the hearts. So like once we shrink that heart crop, it'll draw the quad and cut off those hearts as necessary. So we came up with this. So I think we just need to update hearts. Now I'm kind of curious, like, how do we, if we might want to put this function inside our player object itself so that we can call it from our scene class. Because we don't necessarily want to call update hearts on every single frame. And our heart difference, where do we set? Heart difference is just a global variable that we're setting here. So I guess for right now, we can just say, for right now, we'll just put it here in our player update function so we can just test it. Then we can worry about making it prettier once we got it working, and we can think if we want to put that collision in there. I'm still not seeing any result of that collision, so let me see if this would be in our scene class here. We should leave a little note for ourselves where this function is so that we can hop to it, because this, where is it? I swear, here it is. So for our table entities, if our player top collides, then we're gonna take out its health, damage flash gets true. So something's not working here. Now, let me take a look at this function in our player class itself and see if it's doing something totally... See, no. This should be in our player. We need to go to our player class. Where are our collides function? I don't even see that. Top collides map object. So is that in our entity class? Yeah. Okay. So it's actually part of our entity class. And we're cycling through. Let's make sure we've got a .entities, yes. And it actually has references to all of our geckos because we populate it here and we say table.insert into our entities table at map 1.2 in entity instantiation. So we should be cycling through those entities, checking for collision. And we know that in our scene, actually in our play state, if we toggle on self player damage flash gets true, then we do in fact become flashing. So we should only need to flip that boolean to get us flashing. So if we take a look at our scene and let's put, we'll add a comment here to the end of our update where we say that this is player to entity collision. And it was damage flash, so that should be what we wanted. Let me see if we take this out. We're just looking to damage flash if we collide with it, which is not happening. So we want to make sure we do have access to our player in our scene. And we should have all these entities. I mean, we're doing see, we're doing something similar here, but with our spellcast entities. And then as long as, yeah, this just takes in a target as a parameter, so we should be able to just do this. Let me just see. This isn't even getting... Oh, okay. This is weird. I would think that putting damage flash in that loop would make us flash, but it didn't. So that kind of tells me that we're not doing this right. Either our entities table isn't getting populated right, or we don't have access. Oh, see, it's not our self.entities. Wait, yeah, it is. Because it's in our scene. What the heck? Yeah. Yeah, our map, it's our map object here has a dot entities. That's what we need to be checking. So as long as we're putting our maps entities, see, we're not even populating our entities here. So I guess I'm curious, how are we then rendering our geckos? Because we should, it's map, okay, I don't like this. I don't like this. Yeah, we have to hard code in this map12 dot entities. So we've got to go into our current map, which our scene would have, and go through those entities. So we do have a current map and map row and map column. So what we can do is say here in our entity to player collision in our scene, we should, oh, come on. Yeah. We should have it here. So what we can do is say the number of map at self.map_row and then self.map_column.entities. That should give us the collision detection. So let's see if we start flashing now. Okay. Yeah, we've got to put this map at self.map_row and then self.map_column and then dot entities at the ith index. Let's try that. Okay, yeah, so we're currently always flashing like I was thinking it would. So we'll put it back in the loop where it belongs. We'll go back in here and say also and not self.player. Self.player flashing, no, damage flash. Okay, let's try that. So if we collide with it, we're flashing, but we don't stop flashing. Okay, well, it looks like we flash and then stop. Okay, so it is working. We just keep on colliding with stuff. Okay, cool. So that's looking like it's working okay. That's looking pretty accurate on the collision detection. Oh, and did our hearts go away when we did that? Oh, look at that. Yeah, we did lose hearts. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so the hearts is working too. And what we need to do is limit our heart crop so that we don't see how our heart crop is messing up the render behind the hearts now. So we need to clamp that so it doesn't do that. I think we need to do that. I guess it depends on where our heart crop is defined, although I think it's global. Looks like it's in our play state class. Okay. I don't know why we have it there. Yeah, we should probably move that. But where do we modify our health crop? I believe that's in our, let's see. Yeah, we modify it here. Okay, so what we want to do is limit this to be no smaller than 0. So we'll say a math.max. We'll give it this value, and then we'll also give it a 0. So we don't go lower than 0. So we shouldn't have that mistake anymore where it's messing up the images behind it. Oh, this is cool. We're getting damage from the geckos. We're not getting the knockback just yet, but we'll do that next. Okay. Yeah, well, we can get negative health, which I guess for now is fine because we don't have a game over state. But we'll put we gotta fix this. So before I leave, you know, we're gonna have to fix that. I'm kind of wanting to just call that function update hearts whenever we take damage. So it's like if our hearts are ever decremented or incremented, go ahead, update our hearts, and then we only do it there instead of every single frame like we're currently doing it. So that's why I wanted to change that. So knockback. How do we figure our knockback? All our knockback is a delta X and delta Y, which we had to add for our gecko entities because they only had X and Y, so we had to give them an X and a Y. But then when they collide, let's see, when they collide, fire spell collides. Okay, so we want to go to when we call this fire spell collides. And nope, that's not what I wanted. Fire spell collides, and right here we've got a spell knockback constant already. So what we can do is just like this. So here, this is where we're assigning, you know, we assign our DX based on which side we're hit. But since our player collision is a little differently than this, we've got 4 different functions. So we kind of know which one we want to set based on which function is returning true. So like if top collides, then we want to give our DY a negative knockback so that we go upwards. Or no, positive DY so that we go downwards. And then we've already got, so all we have to do is set our DX and DY to that spell knockback global, and then we should be okay. So we've got what? In our scene, in our entity to player collision, player to entity collision. Okay, so yeah, let's give us that downwards knockback and see how that looks. So we'll give a spell cast knockback, or was it just spell knockback? I don't remember. Let's see. Okay, I'm curious if we've got to be updating our player with DX and DY because we're able to move diagonally. Let's just make sure our DX and DY are, let's be in our entity. Yeah, we're updating. I guess that's a little weird to me. We're only updating our DX. Okay, okay, this is a little confusing to me because I don't know how our keyboard inputs are moving our character if this is the case, because let's see our player walk state. Let's see. are we modifying our DX? No, we don't. We just, okay. So this does make a little more sense. So we're, instead of assigning a DX, I guess what happens with our direction, dot direction in our entity class, what do we do with that? In our entity walk state, what do we do with this? It's like this is moving us, but it's not moving us based on a delta X, delta Y. It's just, we change our animation there. Okay. I guess I'm not entirely sure. It's so hard when the game gets bigger, trying to remember where in every file we put these certain things. Like, but it looks like in our entity class we're not updating our DX and DY regardless. It's like we only, and I should say modify our X and Y position based on our DX and DY, because we should, I want to say we always want to do this, regardless of if we're hit or not. And then if we're hit, we decrement it. So I think what we can do, I want to say we can move that out here, because we want to always update our DX and DY. And we're still not getting knockback. We should be getting, yeah, this is, maybe in our player walk state we don't have, because our, I was thinking that it'd be enough to do it in our entity class because our player is an entity, but if we're not assigning this DY appropriately, let's just try to give us a positive DY when we instantiate and see if that moves us as expected, and then if it doesn't, we know something's wrong. Now I believe we should have our entity def including our, and it's not here, it's actually in our, or is it play state? No. When we, I guess it would be in our player class to make sure that we're inheriting this DY. It would be okay, so modifying our DY does make us move as expected, so that's good. So that means does that mean our collision is still jacked because our DY isn't getting, or did that crash? Hey, that's cool, man. Hey, thanks for the raid. Yeah, have a good night, dude. I really appreciate it. Yeah, take care, buddy. Okay, so I think we just need to make sure we initialize our DX and DY to 0, which we do. Okay, so we should be okay. Why are we not? Oh, you know what? I guess in our player class here, we can say if there's not, and you know what? We'll just take that out. We don't need. We've got the manual adjustment. So what for whatever reason our DY isn't being incremented upon that flashing, because if we're damage flashing, we should be able to modify our DY but that's not the case. And we've got dy to be equal. Let's try to put this, unless we spell knockback wrong. I mean, totally possible. Oh, it's local. What did we do here? Okay, so this is local to our entity class. So I think what we can do... I don't think we can access it. I don't think we can access it because it's local. So what I'll do, I'll just take it out of that, and I'll just make sure we have it global here in our constants. And then, really, why would that, why are we crashing on that? Play state 159. We haven't had a bug like that, ever. Local keylogger Y offset. Did we erase keylogger Y offset? Why would that be gone now? We don't have it. Did we accidentally delete it? Dude. Undo, undo, undo. We accidentally deleted it. That was my bad. Okay. We need spellcast, knockback. And what was it? It was 1.5? Gosh. We really screwed this up. .5, I want to say? Let's see. It was just spell knockback, wasn't it? And we're still not getting our DY. Okay, so where do we do our knockback? Spell knockback. Spell knockback. Okay. So let's see if 1.5 was the right value first off that we can knock these guys around at. Probably. That looks okay. That looks a little strong. So maybe it was less than that. You know what we can do is detach and go get diff, and we can see in our spell knockback what it was. It was 1.5, but that looks a little too fast. So we do want to go... Yeah, we do want to set it a little lower. Wow. 1 does hardly anything. I guess that makes sense, because multiplying anything by 1 wouldn't change anything, so that makes sense. Okay, so why is our knockback not being updated? Okay, so let's try... Oh, we're just doing... God damn it, yeah. We're setting our... We gotta set our player DY to spell knockback, so let's try that. Let's see. Yes! Oh, shit! We just ice skated off the freaking map. So what we aren't doing is decrementing our dy if we get hit. So like, if we get hit, what we're doing, if we hit our geckos, we slow them down over time so that they come to a stop. So we need to go see how we're doing that so we can slow our player down as well. I think it's in our entity walk state that we're doing that. No. What is it called? We should have commented it as like an entity slowdown or something, or skid, or I don't know, because we like kind of skid to a stop. It might be just in our entity class. If we're hit, yeah, let's see that. If we're self.hit, okay, so if we're hit, then we slowly decrement our speed. So that's what we need to do, is we need to become hit. Hit will... We should probably name that something different. We should probably name this... I'll leave us a note, call it like... Name this skid to stop or something. Something like that. And then in our scene where we were, right here, we have to become our self.player.hit gets true, and then we flush this hit when our dx becomes 0. So we should get hit and skid to a stop, which we don't. Player.hit is true, and if hit, we have a decrease, and if we have a positive dy, then we shrink that dy over time. And then if that dy is equal to 0, then we're no longer hit. So why aren't we slowing to a stop? Woo! Okay. So yeah, I think I mean, it's clearly wrong. Clearly wrong. And not... Okay, so yeah, we shouldn't be... Wow, that should be it. The only thing I could think of is if it's in a different state. So like if we were walking and that happens, it still doesn't work. So we do become hit on the gecko right here, just like if we collide, then we damage flash, we set the health of the gecko, we set its dx dy. That's all stuff we're doing here. So it's like damage flash, health, dy, self.hit. Those are 4 things we're doing, and we're doing that for our player. We're doing damage flash, we're doing health, we're doing change in position and hit. So why is this not working? We can have why would it not be working actually? Because hit only slows down, like hit, it only becomes unhit by the time we lose our dx and dy, but that's not happening. Now we are updating our player right here. As long as we're not shifting, we update our player. So why are we not slowing down? Okay, well, we can walk. Okay, well, what else are we missing here? We're becoming hit. We assign our DY. Now this should only be happening once upon the collision if we were damage flashing, because we say, and we're not already damage flashing, then go ahead and do all these things. So I don't think we're reassigning our DY over and over and over, because we only do that if we're not damage flash. Now we could do if not player.hit and see if that fixes anything. I don't think it would, but let's see. Yeah. So what's going on? We're not slowing down. If we take a look at the code that's actually doing that, it's right here under .hit, and it's in our entity class. You know what we aren't doing is... Well, no, yeah, I guess we are. We are assigning our dx to be a new value of our current dx decremented by our decrease clamped to 0. So the fact that it's really weird that we aren't slowing down, because if our dx, or if in this case our dy is positive, so we should be decreasing this. We should be decreasing the amount of positive that our dy is slowly to a 0. So the only thing I could think of that would make it so that we're not doing that is either if we change this flag, we didn't do this flag correctly, because we're updating our x and y position to be based on our dx and dy. So as long as we update our entity, we should have it. And we're updating our entity because we're moving, so why is this busted? Maybe we'll try to put in the other directions and see if we can figure anything else out, but I don't know why this is happening. So we would want to say, else if our player, let's say, right collides with one of these entities and we're not already damage flashing, we're going to become damage flashing. We're going to take away a health. We're going to change our dx to be equal to a negative spell knockback, so we move to the left. We're going to become hit. And let's see. So if we right collide, we should bounce left, which we do. And look at that. Our freaking collidable map object stopped us. But then they just bullied us off. Okay, what is going on? We don't ever slow down. Now, this is in our scene, not our entity, so anything related to our entity should be there in entity class. We've got to be setting this wrong. Self.hit, self.player.hit, that should be our entity. That should be it. Okay. I'm gonna try some manual stuff here and make sure this is working. So I'm gonna turn off all of this logic. Dude, how many have you won on slots tonight? I mean, you've bet like what, 5 times and you've won each time? Okay, so we shouldn't be doing... Yeah, we're not doing anything to our player there. What I want to do is manually say, hey, give our... So Ktronics, if you've got you see, you've got a little Pokemon on screen there, the one with K-Tronics above its head. So like with, oh, sorry, SkyTech. With your character here, you also get gold. So if you do exclamation point currency, it'll tell you how much gold you have, and you can use that gold to buy different characters to be on stream. And you can also do things like bet money on the slots. So if you do exclamation slots and then space however much money you want to bet, you can bet. Your little guy here will come out, pull a slot machine, and then he'll make a bet. Hey, good to see you, Leva. I didn't realize you were here. So yeah, oh yeah, you're going big already. You're just going betting half your gold right off the bat. Let's go. Let's go! Hell yeah, dude. So you can use the little, what do they call it? The module or whatever on the stream to go choose a different Pokemon. You can buy different skins and stuff, and spend your money that way. I might add some purchasable hats or something for the characters, because AKA Bob's got so much gold. I need to add some stuff for him to buy, so I might be doing that. So I think I want to figure out why we're not slowing down when we're hit. So we have to trigger a hit, right? So it's like, let's print out this value, self.player.hit. Let's print this value out here. So we'll make sure we can read it. Let's see and make sure we can read player.hit. Yes, we can. We'll put it right here. Hit is either a true or false, and then we're going to render it up here at the top. And then let's see if we become hit true. We do. Oh, it's working. So why are we not slowing down? We are becoming hit for a certain amount of time. We are becoming hit, so that is working. So it's like this, we know this is being called appropriately. Where are we? Yeah, hit is being called appropriately. That's the wrong spot, but it's in our scene here for our player to entity collision, we're calling this and it's working. So how come getting us a positive dy is never slowing us down? So we say that. We say dy gets, let's just say 1. Let's see. dy gets 1 and then never slows us down even though we were hit false. Now what's really weird is hit only turns to false when our dx and dy is 0. So how are we turning hit false if our dy is still being manipulated? And that might be because we might pass things in by value instead of by reference, maybe? I don't know. Let's see where we say hit gets false, because that is working. So hit gets false. This is right off the bat. This is the wrong spot. Here. Okay, so this is in our entity. So yeah, if our entity's .dx is 0, okay. So why are we moving? Why are we moving? If we print up our dy along with our hit, does that mean our dy is actually still decrementing and for whatever reason it goes to 0 but we still move? Is that what's happening right now? We're gonna say dy, we're gonna put this here, and dy is 0. dy doesn't shrink. It doesn't shrink. So why does it not shrink? We set our dy. What is happening? We must be we've got to do some. We've got to be doing something to our player's DY that we're not doing to our entity's DY. And we're not doing anything in our player class, but let's see if we do anything here. No. Okay. I don't know. It's weird. We're not decrementing our DY. I mean, we do like one time, and then it stops. But it stops before our hit turns false again. No, it doesn't actually. Huh. Hit should be a little longer than what it is. Oh, dude, that is so weird. Why? Huh. Now we're getting the same knockback as our geckos, so we should be bouncing like very similarly. There might be something different in the entity walk state that we are doing that our player walk state isn't doing. It's pretty bare bones, honestly, in our entity walk state. So something's going on where we're not slowing down our DY. Now, what if we see, and this is so weird, we shouldn't ever be coming false unless our DY and DX is 0. So that's what I really don't get. Because our hit false should not be. So we start off as not hit, and the only other time we turn hit to false is when our DX or DY is 0. So why are we getting a false hit when our DX and DY is 0? For ourself, okay. So the only thing I could think of is that we're not giving our appropriate entity, we're not giving our player. Now this isn't our entity, so yeah, oh gosh, this is our player, so oh, you know what, hold on. Oh yeah, fuck, we're giving it our dot player. I'm curious. I don't think this will change anything, but if we do sceneView instead, does this change anything? No. Okay. I would have gone a little crazy if that would have worked. So what do we want to do? How is our player dot hit becoming true or false? How is it becoming false when our DY is still a positive number? So like if we go to a bigger number and we get hit, it stops updating. DY stops updating, stops decrementing. And what's really weird is that it does decrement a little bit. So we come into our entity class and we see that we're hit. So we're going to go ahead and set this decrease. And if our DY is bigger than 0, which it is, we're going to go ahead and set our DY to be a value of either a bigger number getting smaller or clamp it at 0, because we don't want to subtract anything from a number if it's already 0. But this is so weird. I don't know why. Does this have anything to do? Do we only update this if we're hit? Well, that kind of fixes it. It's just that we should be updating our dx and dy regardless of being hit or not, but is this where it was? Is this where our code used to be for this? It was right before our dx0 check. So let's see. See, our dy is not getting decremented. Where if we hit our guys, they skid to a stop no problem, and we're not. So what the heck's going on? It's got to be a discrepancy between our player class and our entity class somehow, because that's the only thing that kind of makes sense. But I don't know what that discrepancy is, because... Yeah, man. Hey, have a good night. Sleep well. Thanks for hanging out. Winning 11,000 gold. What the? Okay, we got to be doing something different in our entity class than our player class. What is it? We're not updating. Oh, you know what? We need to update our dy. We need to update our dy. Oh, that's what we're doing here. God damn it. Yeah, we're updating our dy to be a different number. So what's so weird is it works for the geckos perfectly and it doesn't work for us. So like, what are we doing wrong? Let's see that all we do is assign its, yeah dude, we're doing the same stuff. The four things: damage, flash, health, dx, becoming hit. That's all we're doing in our player, for our player. Then we're doing this. So like the only thing I could think of is we might we've got to be updating our player. You know what? We aren't. So like this is our entity class. Now we do actually, yeah, okay. We don't update our geckos either in our entity class. That's deferred to our... Okay, you know what? I think we might have to do this. Well, shit. This is... We're already modifying our X and Y position based on our DX and DY in our entity class. It shouldn't matter what entity state we're in. But let me just take a peek and see if there's anything that might be overriding this. Not an entity walk state. The idle state doesn't have much of anything. Doesn't have anything in the update. So maybe we do need a entity idle update. Let me try to hold a direction while we get hit, and it's still... Oh god. I'm confused. I don't know why. Now, we should be in an entity walk state by the time we are holding a direction and get hit like that. But what we aren't doing is modifying our X position by our DX or anything like that. Why? Self.hit is true. If our type is gecko and successful cast, go ahead. Hit gets true. So all hit would do is slowly turn our... So I'm kind of curious, if we go into our hit, our dot hit, if we decrease this by a smaller amount, then it should take them longer to skid to a stop, right? So like, that actually looks more accurate like mine. So like maybe this is a bigger number, because we want to decrease it faster to skid them to a stop sooner. So if we get hit, we get hit, we just go flying, and then our DY never ever updates. So that's what's so confusing to me. I really thought today was going to be easy. Not sure why this has given me so many issues. Say we do an and not self.hit here. We gotta figure this out. We gotta figure this out. We know the function's not busted. We know that was working because our flashing was working. What isn't working is our dot hit of our player decrementing our dx and dy. So let's just see if we try something in here where we say if player dot hit, it would be a if self dot player dot hit is true, then we would go ahead and let's just modify our dy, self.dy to be equal to, and where do we set our dy? Let's go set this to reasonable 1. Then we'll say dy gets our current dy minus 0.05, 0.5. Let's do that. Let's see if we slow down now. It's not self.dy, it is self.player.dy, which is what we're changing here. Okay. I mean, he's continuously walking into us, so we have to kind of catch him before he wakes up. See, we're not... Dude, what the heck? What is going on? Why are we not decrementing this? Like, if we, like, screw that, we just say, move our dy to be minus up. We sure go up. But if we're player.hit, this is so weird. No, man, I don't know what's going on. We're not decrementing our dy. So like if we go into our entity and say, you know what, instead of just doing this here, if our dy is ever smaller, if our dy is ever greater than 0, go ahead and decrease it. And our decrease is a local to 2.5, so we'll just put it 2.5 here. Let's try it. Okay, so that's working. Why is that working? Why would that work? And I'm gonna try to put a global in here and see if that changes anything. I just don't get why would putting the same thing out of a self.hit, because we would only become hit as false if our dx and dy were 0. So hey Mies Games, thank you for the follow, I appreciate that. We're working on some bug fixes for this. We're just not slowing down when we get hit. And the weird thing is we can, if we put that outside. Oh, we're gonna crash here. No, we're not. Okay. This is really strange. Oh wow, hey, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Are you a streamer or just a watcher? How'd you find my channel? I'm kind of curious. Yeah, we just hit affiliate a couple weeks ago, so we've been, you know, continuing to stream every day and trying to get a little bit better at game programming every day. This is so weird to me that it works outside of this function. The only thing I could think of is this local variable. That's all I could think of. Okay, nice. Yeah, the I know they just had like the first stream awards, or it was the first stream awards with this category in the awards section. So Pirate Software ended up winning that, of course. But yeah, it's really cool because there's a ton of small programmers and little communities of people building games and helping each other out. So I've been really liking it. I want to try to change this to a different variable called like slow to stop. We can set it to be the same thing, right? So we can set it to be 1.5. What just happened here? Hey, Chugi Boomer. Hey, thank you for the follower goal meet. I really appreciate that. Are you about to stream here yourself, Chugi? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, thank you for the follow, dude. Yeah, we've been working on that follow goal for a little bit. Thank you, man. So we're gonna do a slow to stop, and that's gonna be our 2.5. Now we're gonna go back here. Now we're gonna, instead of putting decrease here, we're gonna substitute decrease for our slow to stop. And Mies Games, are you a graduate of CS, or are you still in school? I'm curious to hear like how you're liking it and if it's what you were hoping it would be and whatnot. Why does this happen? It's so weird that it works for our geckos no problem. Now, if we move this back where it used to be, does that change anything? Oh, it does, it does. Okay. So we're getting knocked back now. That's looking like it's working. We get hit, we get knocked back, but then they're brutal. Since they keep walking towards you, they just kind of, we have to increase the knockback for the player, I think. Otherwise, they just kind of, or slow the walking of these geckos, because they walk into you and then they already sucked all my hearts out. So we only want them to be able to, yeah, look at, like, they'll get, our hearts are down to like -45 here. Have a degree in IT security, worked for a hospital network for a couple years, decided you like programming a lot. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I ended up getting my degree in film and found out that I really like programming. So I'm actually going back to school right now for a coding boot camp to try to, you know, get more computer programming skills, nunchuck skills, computer hacking skills. But yeah, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on the region and everything, but did they say they had a good experience with it and learned a lot? Yo, K-Tronics coming in clutch with a sub. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Yo, that is we just unlocked a new emote with that. So thanks for that, dude. I appreciate that. We've got, we unlock, I think, one animated emote and one normal emote with that sub. So thank you so much for that, K-Tronics. Yeah, because we have, I don't think sub points roll over month by month. So I was thinking that we were gonna end up losing that. Yo, thank you guys so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Getting hype up in here. Here, I'll give some stars on screen here for the hype. Thanks, guys. We're actually almost fixing our bug here. It's just that there's something that we weren't quite thinking about, and it's when we get hit. I guess our knockback, you know what? Our knockback isn't actually being updated like we thought it was. We need it to be, you know what? And we don't need this to be in a block here at all, actually. What we can do is, if our DX and D, yeah, let's try this. Let's take it all out of the block and see if that changes it, because now we get knocked back and we slow to a stop. So that's working. We only got our downwards working at the moment. We do want to make sure that we can only do, we've got to add our other directions, but then we want to make sure we can only get hit if we're not flashing. So when we're going to do our decrement, so I'm going to leave a little note here, say, should we nest in self.hit was causing bugs. I don't know why this was causing bugs for our player, but it was. So we can go ahead and add in our right collides and test that. If we right collide with them, we should bounce left, which it does. If we top collide, they bounce us down. That's looking great. Then as soon as we get, we need to make sure we don't do this more than once. And you know what? This might actually be the secret to what was going on. I think, is our hit ever getting set to false here? Yeah, it gets set to false way too quick. So that's what's happening wrong, is because we should only decrement a health here if we're not hit, or if we're not damage flashing. So if we go to damage flash here, we should escape our getting minus 45 heart. Yeah, we're programming in Lua here. Love2d is the game engine and Lua is the language. And we are slowing down like we wanted to. We don't have that crazy minus 45 hearts because we can only minus a heart if we are not flashing. We still have to prevent our hearts from getting negative. Okay, nice. Yeah, so I like C a lot. And I've done a couple small programs in Python. And Lua I'm with out of because my game engine that I work with is in Lua. I've tried a little bit of Unity and I didn't really like it that much. And I like how you have to kind of manually type everything in Lua, so I feel like I'm learning a bit more about data management and stuff than I would in Unity. But that is cool. Yeah, I'm curious about Java because so many things like are pertinent to Java, so I am kind of curious about that. But I've never dived into it yet, so like I'm working on more web dev stuff because that's what my bootcamp is in. So when that gets started, I'll be doing more JavaScript and stuff like that, and then we'll be moving on into TypeScript. Let's do our other collide functions here, so we know we need to do our left collides and bottom collides so we can set our appropriate directions. So we have a else if player left collides, we would bounce to the right, which means our dx would be a positive, and all that is true. As long as we've got that damage flash. Oh, and we did this wrong. Not damage flash. So Mies Games, are you playing any games recently now that I should be checking out? I haven't played much of anything. So I'm kind of curious if there's like a good game out I should check out. Last game I got was Fires of Rubicon, Armored Core. And I only played it like 3 different times, and then I just like had so much work, and I try to stream every night, so it's hard for me to make the time for it. But we're gonna go give us, if we bottom collide, that means we need to bounce upwards. So that means our dy needs to be a negative spell knockback. So let's go see if we've got bottom collides. Yep. Okay, cool. Yep. So they do bounce us around. That is cool. And we're actually losing our hearts now, so that is great. That's great. We might want to slow down these guys because they're little buggers. We might want to slow them down. Let's give them one more heart worth of health. And then, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't have much time either. I am excited about this. There's a Braid Remastered coming out, which I like. John Blow, the programmer, and this game has got like game dev commentary inside the game, so that's coming out later this month. So I'm really excited for that, mainly because it's got all the gaming commentary stuff inside the game. So I'm excited for that. I haven't tried Counter-Strike, but I've definitely watched people play. I'm not that intensive a gamer, so I'm more of a sit down with a puzzle type of gamer. But that's cool. So we need to lock our player's X and Y position so that we don't fly off screen by getting bumped by them, right? And then we also need to I want to give the geckos one more heart worth of health so that we have to hit them 3 times before they get cleansed. So how we would do that, I think we'd go into our entity defs here, into our map declarations, and we can see how much health we give our gecko. Now, if we give it 150 health, see, so this is backwards because we've got Our player's health is 14, but our gecko's health is 150. But our spellcast entity is casting 25 worth of damage. So that's why that discrepancy. Oh man, they got all screwed up there. Wow. Yeah, you know, we need to shrink our hitbox just a bit more. Well, I don't know, it looks okay. They're little bullies. Yeah, that looks okay, actually. Let's see the top. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I am actually happy with that. It's just that I saw some weird activity when we hit them. When I was being hit and other geckos were tracking me, I saw some weird behavior. Like I saw them flipping directions and stuff, which is a little strange. Oh, and then we only want to check corrupted entities, because look, a normal gecko can kill me right now, which shouldn't be the case. So let's go and add that. We want to go into our sceneView, or scene class, and go, we would want to go, we only want to do this if the thing we're colliding with is not corrupted. So I think we would want to say, yo, Mies Games, have you played Steven's Sausage Roll? Have you heard of this game? It's not a prank or anything. It's like literally a really good game. It's just a puzzle game, and it's like there's technically 5 buttons in the whole game. There's the arrow keys and then undo, and it's like a Sokoban style pushing blocks puzzle game. But if you're into level design and interesting puzzle games, that game is a huge, like, explore this mechanic till the death of it. Like, not in a bad way, not like it milked it dry, but it milks it dry in the sense that, like, it squeezes every last bit of functionality out of the mechanics that you possibly could. And it's like a really, really well done puzzle game. So, like, if you're looking for a puzzle game to check out, I'd add that one to your list to check out. Because that one really made an impact on me. I will never make a game that good. I know that for a fact. It's really solid. Dude, it's really good. I love that game, and the whole vibe of it, you know, the art style and the music is really good. If you do end up playing it, I highly suggest not looking anything up about it. Just play yourself. Don't look up solutions if you're stuck. Just let it seep into your brain and just play it, because it's probably my top 3 games of all time. It's just really good, especially if you're into level design or puzzles. Like, it's really, really well done. It's made by Stephen Lavelle, who ends up posting games he makes like every week or so. He makes little games and he posts them up on his blog and everything. But that's one of his main actual paid releases, and it's fantastic. So I don't want to have to do, it's almost like we only want to do these collision detections for an entity that isn't corrupted. So we can do it here. We can say that if, as we cycle through the entity, we can say if that entity, we can say self.map at index self.map column dot entities. So Steven's Sausage Roll is a hard game, but very rewarding. If you sit there and let it work its magic on you, it's amazing. Yeah, that's like my second favorite gaming experience of all time, I think, is Steven's Sausage Roll. So we want to ask if that entity is not corrupted. So if that entity is not corrupted, then you found it really challenging that your brain is what computer science is about. Yeah, less about syntax and more way of thinking. Yeah, it is definitely like, and that's what I came to realize about programming was like, I used to think I was a filmmaker. I mean, I still am a filmmaker, but like my creativity isn't limited by the medium of film. And once I learned that code is just another way of expressing yourself, I was like, yo, I'm gonna be a programmer because that's just another way of expressing things I want to happen. And in film, you can't get any interactivity with the medium. So like games are totally unique in that, where it's like it requires your participation actively, and it responds to you. So I'm super interested in this whole field of, I call it like interactive art. I know it's video games, but I call it interactive art because it's just, that's what it is. So like, I'm curious to keep playing with these things, and keep learning. So we're only going to check for those collisions if our gecko is corrupted, because we don't want to check for the collisions if it is not corrupted. So maybe we can't get hurt by cleansed geckos now. So let's try. Cool. Yeah, we don't collide with them and they don't hurt us. So I don't know if I'd like that we would just walk over them. Maybe we would add that we can't collide with them. But they at least can't hurt us now, so that's good. So we've got what we wanted to get done today, which was just adding knockback and damage to our player from our entities. And what we can do is leave us a little note that says that we want to add a hitbox. Actually, it's just like a bounding box. Add bounding box to cleansed geckos to prevent walking over. And then, yeah, we still need to do this. We need to make the geckos pick the closest edge they want to walk to. We need to clamp the entity knockback before they deinstantiate off screen. We need to, actually we just did this, collision detection for our player versus our entities. So we did that. And then we added player health today as well, so that's good. We're getting some stuff off our to-do list here. And then we still need to do some stenciling for our log cabin. So if we walk into our log cabin right now, we can't do it. We can't. Oh, what is happening? What is happening over here? What am I colliding with? You know what? I think our geckos are still on the screen. What is happening? What? Why are we fine down here? Yet on map 1-1? Nope, we're not fine down here. We're getting attacked. This is freaky. We can add some invisible enemies, because this is freaky. Okay. So for some reason we have entities on our map 1-1, which shouldn't be the case. I think we might see, because we give ourselves an empty entities table for our map. Now, I guess upon a finish shifting from our scene, we should be able to see if we're flushing that table or not. Now, finish transitioning. It's called finish shifting, yeah. Okay, so we set our current map to be equal to the next map. We do reset the entity's original position of the current map before we assign the next map. So when we assign this next map, I guess the question is, where are our entities being pulled in from? Our map object is what has the dot entities. So I feel like we have to be accidentally declaring some entities in our map 1.1, but we're not. We've only got map 1.2 entities. So this is something big. We gotta figure out why this is happening. Because if I don't do anything, I'm still getting hit by something. Now, it's weird. It's like they're not tracking us. So it's not like it's the geckos that are tracking us, but there are entities that are sitting there that I can collide with and get hurt by. So I wonder if we translate this square that I'm getting hit on to the next scene, if a gecko's right there, and there is one about in that same area. Gosh, what is happening? Yeah, that's where the entity is. Okay. We definitely need to figure this out. Yeah, let me see. It's like we need a function to load in the default entities for whatever map we're currently on. Because I feel like, because there's some game magic that's happening on the screen here. Like, we're not really switching any location around. We're just translating our screen image off as we walk off the screen. So I think what's happening is we're just translating the image and the image of the entities off screen, and then we're at our new screen and our entities are still existing in that original scene view. That's what we call our scene view, is like whatever we're currently looking at, and a scene view contains a current map and a next map, and a next map is nil until you initiate a transition off one of the sides of the screen. So there's something going on that we're not fleshing our entities, because what we really should be doing is, see, and I don't like this, that we've got, oh, this is, oh yeah, this shouldn't be the problem. It's just that we need to flush. Yo, that makes me happy, Mies Games. I hope you like it. I think it's well worth it. It is very, very fun to play, and it's very challenging and rewarding. So I hope you have fun with it. That's definitely one of my highest recommended games. Probably my highest recommended game, yeah. If you like puzzle games. If you don't like puzzle games, don't try it. But it's very, very cool and very fun. Yeah, that game to me is like the pinnacle of what you can do in terms of gameplay, in terms of such limited mechanics. Because like you've only got the 5 keys, but it's got so much expression of those 4 movements that it's really, really something special to play. So I'm glad you got it. I hope you like it. You should come back and let me know if you do end up liking it or end up hating it. Because I think it's really special. Okay, so I think I'm not gonna figure this out tonight. Oh, but look at this is, we're getting hit on this screen even. Oh, come on. We're getting hit where we shouldn't on this screen even. Maybe I'm imagining that. Yeah, we need to slow down our geckos for sure. We need to slow them down. So when we go and populate them, we give them a walk speed, which is a random. So if we look at our random, we give them a walk speed. Let's take down their walk speed. Let's boost up their slowest speed just a bit. Actually, I like the slow ones. And then we'll change this to 55. So a random walk speed of 25 to 55, and one of 2 different AI paths. We'll see if it's a little bit easier to play, because now they shouldn't be walking as fast. Gosh, yeah, it's like Yeah, I feel like we need to slow them down even more. They need to, at least these geckos, they should be really slow. Yeah, I'm super happy you got Steven Sausage Roll. That makes me happy. I love that game, and like no one ever wants to hear me talk about it, or it's like people see like the graphics of it, and they're like, no, that's not for me. But it is very good. Okay, yeah, this is looking better. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm a huge believer in the game doesn't need to look good in order to be fun. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about gameplay, man. And sound effects. Speaking of, yeah, I'm talking to a friend of mine this weekend. He was wanting to, he's a sound designer, he wants to do some video game work. So we're going to be talking and see if he wants to help me out with some of the sound effects on here. I know I can do it all myself, but he asked me if I'd be interested in letting him try. So I'm going to try to let him do that. Oh, cool. What instruments do you play, Mies? The music you're listening to right now is actually programmed by me in Sonic Pi. So that's right here. I play a little bit of keyboard. Okay, cool. Do you use Ableton? Or is Logic considered a DAW? I don't even know. Ableton's the one I've done. Okay, FL Studio, I know that one too. I don't know that as in I've done it. I've heard of that one, but yeah, that's cool. Hey, if you've got a SoundCloud or anything, feel free to post it here. Oh, check that out, Mies Games. You got your founder badge for the channel. That's awesome. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. That's cool. But yeah, share if you've got some music you want to share. Feel free to share it here or in the Discord or something. I'd love to check it out. Music is a big part of this game. That's totally fine. I totally get that. Yeah, I totally get that. This game does have some music aspects to it. We haven't got to any of those aspects just yet, but they are gonna come up fairly soon now that we've got basic entities and enemies working. I mean, we've got to fix our bug before we do that stuff, but let me see if we get those entity collisions. Yeah, we get them off here too. I think we just need to flush our entities. So let's try to do that upon a finished shifting. We just need to flush our current scene's entities. So let's just go into our scene here, and we'll go to a finish shifting. And when we finish shifting, before we assign our new map, see, and it's, I think, we want to flush our next map's entities, even though I think we want to flush our next map entities, because if we flush our current map entities, it'll erase the geckos off screen as we walk off screen, and we want them to be there. That's why we're resetting them to their original position. But the map, oh, and you know what? Maybe the map row might be the wrong thing. We might want to do it to current row. Current map, okay. Map row. You know what? Yeah, I think this might be a flaw of our overall how we're spawning a scene. Because if we take a look at our play state, where is our scene instantiation? It's right here. We give it a 1, 2. So if we give it a 1, 1, we'll spawn on the first page, but I'm wondering if the entities are going to be there. It doesn't look like we're getting hit by any ghost entities. Now I'm really curious if we walk off to that other side and we walk into the entities, if they have the references to them, and we see, okay, so this is what I thought. So we just need to fluff. We need to clear the entities of our current scene, Because right now our scene can only hold one reference to a bunch of entities, so we're gonna need to decouple this. Yeah, we need to decouple this because any scene we walk to will have the same entities that we started initializing on, because our scene view is rendering things appropriate to the scene. So we need to make sure we update our scene by the new location. So maybe that's actually the answer. I've never tried that before. I've never tried to update our scene to be a new instantiation. So let's see if we do that upon a scene transition, if that might do the trick. So we're going to set our current map to be our next map. I think we want to do this. Set current map to next map, flush next map. Then I think we want to put our player. See, and we need our this is resetting the positions of the old scene we just left. So we want to set our new scene to be equal to whatever scene we want to end up at. But right now, I'm going to hard code in a 1-1 and see if that fixes our issue. So we've got collision there. We go here, and no collisions. No enemy collisions, at least. Before I got distracted, the log cabin here is, we can't walk here, we can't walk here, we can walk in here, but we're over our log cabin. So we need to do stenciling to draw the doorway over our character here so that we can walk inside the cabin and then ultimately change the scene. But we need a reference to, oh gosh, what did we, I think I know why we crashed there. It's because of this. Let me see if this is where we crashed. There. Concatenate field of direction a nil value. Okay, that's not what I thought. Player idle state 6. Okay, we have to do some hard thinking about how to fix that. Because that is a totally different type of issue. What line did that crash on? It was only when we did this new scene stuff. So I think if we fix our scene, because that was only ever doing a scene 1-1 switch, which if we were to walk down, well, if we comment that thing back on and then walk down, it would start looking normal, and then as soon as we're done transitioning, it'd kick us to the first scene. Yeah. So I think, wow, that was wild. Okay, so I think this issue has to do with that scene that we're just always instantiating here. So we will figure out how to do that tomorrow, because that's important and that needs to work. So we will prioritize this. We say fix entities in sceneView. Possibly clearing previous scene. Yeah, I think the easiest way to do this is to give ourselves oh, nice. Yeah, so there is a cooked sausage, there's a burnt sausage, and then you have to not only get to your starting spot, but you have to be in the right orientation as well. So you'll figure it out. I highly suggest not looking things up if you get stuck. Just let it. That's honestly, that's impressive. You did a level, because not all those levels are very, very solvable right off the bat. So if you can do a level that fast, I'm sure you can do the game. Yeah, I want to hear updates. I want to hear updates if you're liking it. Like no pressure if you don't like it, but if you're liking it, come back and let me know, because I want to hear how it's been for you. Yeah, I think the way to do this is to kind of give ourselves a function that in our map declarations, so like our map 1.1 will have a whole table of entities to insert, and then an insert would put it into the current scene. So at the time we finish a transition, we'd run that insert entities function, and we might have to do it upon a begin shifting, because if you think about it, the entities that are on screen as we begin to shift should be there before they get on screen, so we might need to play with that. I'm hoping we can figure that out tomorrow, because I want to get to developing two scenes on our game so that we can make a channel trailer for Twitch here, because Twitch is keep asking me about this channel trailer. So I would like to get 2 levels looking pretty good, and now we've got spell casting, we've got entity collision, both with our spell casting and our character, and we're getting hearts decremented. So I think the last things before we make that trailer is we need to make, 2 levels look pretty decent, and then we need to take off our debugging, take off our frames per second, and add an item slot for whatever item we're holding, and then add the overworld equality meter, whatever we call that, the balance of the world's ecosystem meter that we mocked up the other day. Here, I'll pull that up so we can show it off. I think it's in, where is it? Here we go. This one. So this is what we need to make it look like. I mean, this is just the draft of it. So our hearts, and then there's that balance meter. That's kind of functions as like a compass in the game for like where, if you're in the right area or not, in terms of what you can accomplish. I don't know if I like that idea so much, but I did want to have a mechanic like that, because the whole goal of the game is to kind of establish reorder in the ecosystem. So I think a focus on that to kind of keep the player rooted in, hey, how do we make this more harmonious? How do we keep this in mind, and how do we keep this meter increasing in the right direction? I think that would be good. And it kind of hints that like, hey, you can't explore this area because it's so corrupt. You got to go to another area. Kind of help them out in that front. So let's go ahead and do our commits. That was wrong. Let's go out of here and go check out our get diff. So yeah, the things we did collision detection for our player and entities. We gave ourselves the player health decrement yesterday. And then tomorrow's episode is going to be fixing those entities in our scene view, and if we can get that done fairly fast, God willing, we can start to add a bounding box to our cleansed geckos so that we can't just walk over them. And then here's all the code for what we did today. I do still want to do this. We want to move our health difference function maybe into a global function somewhere, instead of sitting in there where it current is, which is the player update. I don't think I like that. And then we added all the spell knockbacks for our player. And then, yeah, then we just got some debugging. So yeah, that's it. So let's add everything with a commit message saying player to entity collision added. Need to fix entities in sceneView. That's huge. We need to make sure we do that. But that is all the time I have left for today. So thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the follows and the subs and the bits. I really appreciate all of you guys here. There is a programmer who I was just gifted a sub to that we can raid. He does some more 3D stuff, but I always like raiding out to people. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope everyone has a good night. I'll be here tomorrow. Thanks for watching.